Testing 1, 2. And she never which the test 1, 2. But I found there for Kumona. I want to say something. Makebi, he ondongana nankoyu. Mwana wukai. Imagine. I shall walk with Shako something. 1 minute. Oh wait. Did Lionel wake him up?
No.
What happened? Hey, Pookie. Oh, come here. Oh, my poor. Seems sleepy.
Yeah.
All right.
I gave the option, but he started crying.
Oh.
What you going live for?
I wonder.
What you got the live percolate? I started with this scruffy.
Babe, I'm at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want me to all dressed up? Like I'm like from the streets.
You look like you're someone else's home cleaning that toilet.
Yeah. What's wrong with you? Babe, I want to aquaresa. Abarishi batinda samba. They know Chibyongwech. Ai Louis. Barishi bafi aingai samaishi batinda Chibyongo. Yana chimpopo kita maishi baini. And yeah, it's too close to me. All right, Pokey. Para pene fende for afye ati indeko live mwana abuka. All right, Pokey. Ainta mwaishwa tinchibiongo. Gana chifie mpopo kefe so na ingira fato oke nsambe fye. Muna fe no kumuna fe ufo mfuma. Ain. Integration nama speeches. I mean, that's a guy, see? Uyu muntu? Uyu muntu? We are in problems as a country. But moi je vais te tapa becho afirwa. Moi je vais te tapa becho afirwa ka? This is too close to me. Too close. I'll do this and turn it that way a little bit. And then I'll do this. Dere litira monekera para live. Ero ba umfa bwino ba kasongo. Namra kwa vere da kwache. Namra ko bonita kwache. Ta umfa bwino kasongo. Chipo stand up face this side. How many minutes? Lu arufianya live. Yachwana kuwa popo live. Therefore kumona po something. Ambaruwi na wabuka. Awanji chibyongo. Yaso barafura no kuntuka mwamona. Nsambire. Nisa eronga na samba ni wes. Ngana chimpopo ke. Nisela ko chibongo chile pita munshira. Sele chibongo chipiteko. Ala. Abantu bebantu bachanje bathi you look homeless. Why are you going live for you? Nathi mwenji pangani line. I had to tell him that we are on the bench warming if he says go back. Mala imone comment. Now I used to screenshot, but even if I don't screenshot, you'll see it. Zambia. Wait, let me tell you something. Not batika ma makeup, poor mashani. Nangure for mwana kashuku mfwa mudi na achoro. For mbat for ile mudi na achoro not paneri. Na short hair, not na my extension na ma Brazilian hair. Na achoro wakamba nafuma kunchito chimusungu charo lesha akakashikanda akampara nalionda akakashikanda chapanga fera disije imwe mazambians mupite pite tamuna sarapuka pwako insala munashingira mupirikite tyako niwe mwai mwana fuba mpitire pamano chale mipita pamano chimusungu tamuna sarapuka tyako nachibika kani chamwe nati ni mbuto isumeri ni a national asset. What I love your lips. Mwai mwana chimunanju kuchande but boy behave. Chimunanju tate chimunanju ku US chande tate that boy behave. That's why when I feel apa ku attack. Yes, choma you kokomokote ai chan. Kasongo aramina amate pano pene mule mbona so. Ero ngana ambokisha na kasango ni shafurunga na fenomba fero apenash. Not chafira mwana chipo stand up. Why I don't finish my bundles. You wanna get panji komlomo? Zambia is at crossroads. It's better to aseka ishkushirea. Mwai mwana it's better fine na isako na mi na mistako na nikane na landa kona yimu mama no tacha mwana kashiteri onse uya kwebati na ubika makeup shanchanja wait let the face breathe mama mama apanje munachoro fe bajuna munje fati chibiongo wachima chibiongo ngachawa mama ka. That's why nangu nani kanene ati yo mwana show omne mwana show chibiongo charafu hawe chibiongo chali kwata high self esteem but that my mwana finish feel tsiga na network share this live because inash for kuntendeka ninji kaida na mwini mwambo kuntendeka ero mule mfaisha nipo makebi na michitefironda. And we are ready for your punches. We are ready. For you are ready for the ECO. Jay, what's your problem, eh? Tapa in the hand of it. Muka pusha kasongo. Oh. Astafeso. Ngambo na Astafeso. Abantu bako barentu kaina rifyat. Muka pusha. Ndeshana fechi dance atimone chimusana kasongo kana mleshina mama amleshina what I'm telling you is the truth kasongo aleke fyale chitafyonza ambo kutamba ichibiongo chileshana di furunga na tawa kasongo mubepushe imomule mwati kasongo ni sambala ili ashupa okay momule mwana kasongo fya chani ero apana cha kasongo no se formule tontonka kasongo na cha pa nenda ramana kwa tapa so para di broke kasongo mo position kasongo ari broke mo position no nenda ramana pena mbiro pag mwana. Let's go to a business to run the parika songo filia charanda. Awe, na mwishiba. Inenero, na chimunorekesha sana. Uyu muntu, we need to be Zambians. Gata muiske parakasa. Mshena mwishibe mpendo abantu abafuire ku Tanzania. such that umuntu kutaya mukulanda ati congratulations, hey, peace and stability, hey, chan. Iyo unifying fyakuishiba be na mwishiba ina shachwa no kuisa live mwaimwaga nomba ine mulende kafi, because the more you want to fight me, the more mulentunkura kumutima, because you see it is na ngfeni newo wine lero na salo that awe na ine kutina wa president rafine fe why me areranda fina why me kutafiro kuteke charo, why me kutafiro kurunda, why me kutafiro kukata abantu, why me kutafiro kuibe chipani kunyonge chipani chabene, why me kuchanyonge chipani. So why me kutateke charo? It's true, Momona, it's very true. Why me can actually rule the country, maybe even better than this guy we have, because you see, we've been telling you Zambians to say, if let's come Zambia, if you are enabling a dictator. That's what I've been saying all along. The judiciary is enabling a dictator. Parliament is enabling a dictator. A registrar is enabling a dictator. What else? All these institutions of governance are enabling a dictator. That's been my message for the past 4 or 5 years. And people who not see it. And you see, the thing that is the biggest challenge in our country is the fact that hunger has been weaponized to an extent where it's now being used as a tool to control people. Now, only somebody with wisdom can say things like that. Hunger has been weaponized to the extent that it's being used as a tool to control people. Ati tumyumfu afe lero ture tamba chan ture myumfu afe lero I don't know. That's what has happened in our country. And because of that, you find that even when some people like us are talking, badaba ichebara bapero 100 kwacha 200 kwacha, maybe baba shitakwa kabunga, go and insult chair. Go and say all sorts of things. Go and say all sorts of nonsense. At the end of the day, you are insulting a person that is more stable than you are. Number, it's a situation whereby Zambians are being given fish instead of being taught how to fish. And that's what Ichilema's strategy is. To use hunger as a weapon, as a tool to control the masses. Now, the dangerous part is what has happened today. Today, if you ever doubted how or the extent of which a church wished to go to, this today would be the day that you actually believe to say, What is it, Cookie? What's the matter? Oh, my boo-boo. I'm sorry. Okay, let's put some boba. Hold on. No worries. No worries. Okay, all right. Come here. Come here. All right. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. All right. So, I was saying, a church, ale wonfiensala, ukchita control the masses. But if you ever doubted a church, how the extent at which he's willing to go to stay in power. Today is a very good example of what this guy, how far this guy can go. Because honestly speaking, Sadiq Rejan released the statement, okay? And I have a statement with me, and let me read to you what the Sadiq is saying. So Sadiq says, and I quote, where is the statement for Sadiq? Should I go call her? Actually, I posted it on the page. Let me show you. So all this time, HH has been testing this country, and we have enabled him. All of us have enabled you. Okay? So Sadiq calls the Tanzanian election a sham. The Southern African Development Community has issued its preliminary electoral observation mission report to Tanzania's sham and violent elections. Over 700 people have died, by the way. People are saying 1,000 people have died. So this is what Sadiq is saying. So Sadiq says, the preliminary statement on the 2025 Tanzanian general election include the following key issues: intimidation and uneven political environment, reports of abduction and arrest of opposition activists and leaders, including Tundu Lissu of Chadema and Luhanga Pin of ACT Wazalendo. Opposition members' disqualification created an uneven playing field and discouraged participation. Some stakeholders said the calm environment was a result of covert intimidation and fear, not peace. Okay, this is the Sadiq observation that is issuing these statements. 2. Restriction on electoral justice. Article 41(7) of the Constitution bars courts from challenging presidential general elections. Article 74(12) prevents courts from reviewing the Electoral Commission actions. Both provisions block transparency, accountability, and judicial recourse, which contradicts Sadiq democratic principles. 3. Compromise independence of the Electoral Commission. The president, who is also the ruling party chairperson and the presidential candidate, appoints the election commissioners, raising doubts on their independence. 4. Internet shutdown and information blackout. The internet was cut off on election day, halting communication and preventing sale of gatherings and transmitting data on polling, counting and closing processes. Harassment of observers. Some observers were interrogated by security forces, had passports temporarily seized, and were forced to delete photographs in Tanga. Accreditation delays and missing introduction letters hindered their work. 6. Media censorship and lack of freedom of expression. Censorship of online platforms and restrictions, like what is happening on our platforms, Facebook pages, it's being censored. So this is what they're saying. This happened in Tanzania as well. Censorship of online platforms and restrictions on media freedom were reported. State-owned media overwhelmingly favored the ruling party, while private media self-censored out of fear, losing of licenses. Now, on that regard, I want to say this because I want to get the information, take the information that I got out there. KBN TV, was summoned because of the statement that they released saying about Alebwele Lapu. When they issued a statement, there were actually 2 statements for KBN TV. Why KBN was summoned. First was about the elections that happened in Malawi, which were a very democratic process in Malawi. And they actually quoted Malawi of Alebwele Lapu because the former head of state in Malawi returned back to power. So KBN, our very own KBN, which is a private entity, private media, was called by Independent Broadcasting Corporation, and they were called in regard with why they said of Alebwele Lapu. Secondly, they called them because of Maria Zalomesi, because KBN reported to say, why has the murder charge been reduced to manslaughter? So then after that, by IBC actually called, and as we are speaking, don't be surprised if KBN TV is shut down, because as we speak, it is one of the, it's in fact one of the few credible media stations that we have in Zambia that can go and cover elections. So the summoning of KBN TV, actually, it also has to do with the 2026 general elections, because if they can stop KBN from covering what is happening at the polling station, if they can get censorship, if they can censor the media platforms like our platforms and everything that is happening, then they are good to go. What is happening with the ECZ as well is another case that, you know, the rigging of elections that started of 2026. We have received reports of people going to register as a voter and finding that their NRCs are appearing in Southern Province. How possible is that? So this is happening and nobody's addressing this issue. ECZ is not explaining to us why is it that people in Kitwe, when they go to register, they find that they've already registered and somebody's NRC is already in the books in Southern Province. So we'll have a situation where there will be people in Southern Province voting from Southern Province, but ile stapiat ni kukito ma voters ya Kitwe. Na mvufonderanda. This is a situation that we're going to be having in Zambia. If we don't call ECZ to order, this is a situation that we are going to have in Zambia, where somebody who has not voted, but they're appearing that they've already voted, but voted of Southern Province, but they're appearing to say they voted from Kitwe. Because how possible is it that somebody in Kitwe has the same NRC as somebody in Southern Province? This is happening in our country, and it's something that we need to really look into, and we need to hold ECZ accountable. Not only that, we have a situation whereby the voting registration ku mas strong was talk of Lusaka, Copper Belt, Guapula, Northern Province, Muchinga, Eastern Province, even part of Central. If that's the case, we are finding situations where Southern Province ne chunguro bale register ma voters. Ukuko ashala iyo takuri inki, iyo kamera taide bomba, iyo shan. Those are all efforts and part and parcel of the rigging processes. And this is what SADC is saying here, because this system that has been used in Tanzania, like it or not, believe it or not, is being used and practiced by Hakainde Hichilema right in Zambia, right on your noses, and you are quiet and you are watching and you are saying, oh, 2026 will teach Hakainde Hichilema a lesson. So, if you look at this statement from SADC, first of all, Hichilema's strategy was obviously, firstly, to play victim, so that if it looks like he's the victim, and hey Pookie, let's put you here. Let's put you here. That's all right. Come on. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. There you go. There you go. Good boy. So you see, this that is happening in Tanzania, for example, it's happening in Zambia. Mwamonaka? It's happening in Zambia, and if you don't hold this administration to account, first of all, the infiltration of the judiciary is something that the SADC have actually released. You know, they talked about lack of independence of the judicial system and everything like that. It is happening in Zambia, and Tanzania so that he can see how he can practice. Why am I saying this? Because even his supporters are actually saying, oh, take the ECZ so they can go and get some training in in Tanzania so that they can come and practice in Zambia. Now listen, these people are not patriotic to the nation because each case, whether you're UPND or not, this nonsense that is happening in our country, if we don't hold this UPND to account, each case, and the stupidity of these people is like, for example, but you're supporting this regime that is actually destroying the country. Think of 20 years from now. If we continue on this trajectory as a people, think of 20 years from now. Look at your children, your young children that you have, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. What sort of environment will they grow up in? That's the questions you should be asking yourselves. Don't just think because no. These things that I'm saying today, it will come to haunt all of us as a people. It will haunt our children and our children's children. A foundation was laid. We got our independence and things like that. We are here because somebody did the right thing. In as much as Kaunda was a dictator for 27 years, there came a time where he had to let go. Chiluba came, he had to let go. Mwanawasa obviously died. We came Rupia, he had to let go. Sata died. ACL. If there's one democratic president that we've ever had in this country, is Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Because if Edgar Chagwa Lungu wanted, this thing that has happened in Tanzania could have happened in Zambia. And he knew that people were going to die. A lot of people, look at the pictures. How can how can he honestly go and stand on the podium and congratulate that woman and talk about rule of law when a number of people have been shot dead? So what sort of a leader are we dealing with? These are the questions we should be asking ourselves. If a leader has got no moral compass, no integrity whatsoever to say, there's absolutely no way HH can go and stand on the podium and say this is an election that you should clap for. It is a sham of an election, and being Sadiq, if he read what Sadiq reported, he should be ashamed. The EU reported of how bad people have died in this election. If this woman really, that's why I say a fool or an evil man will burn his nation down just to rule over the ashes. Because what this woman has done, she has burned a nation down. I'm telling you, Tanzania to recover from this, even if she's been sworn in as president, but she will not be able to face people. That's why even an inauguration ceremony was held in the barracks. What sort of an inauguration ceremony is held in the barracks? Because she cannot. She understands that she's not safe. So at what point does power become, okay, Maka and I, but at the end of the day, the same people you want to rule over, you cannot even face them. You cannot freely move without all these people. And the worst part was that the people that she was claiming to have ran against are the opposition that she sponsored. The same opposition appeared to her inauguration and were part of that inauguration ceremony. And this is exactly what Hakainde Hichilema is doing in Zambia. Is going after all those strong opposition, using stooges that are idiots like Tayali, such that when they talk, they look like, Parifia Manofo Badiranda. You understand? And they'll use idiots like Tayali to come for people after us, like us. You understand? This that is happening, this that has happened in Tanzania, if we are not very careful, it can even be worse in Zambia. Because the current leadership that we have, the current president has got no moral compass to actually desist from actually even attending that. Because with the number of deaths that have happened with that elections in Tanzania, why did HH fail to go to Malawi where there was a democratic process? Would have showed more maturity and more morals than Hakainde Hichilema. Because Chakwera transferred, even though he didn't go to physically transfer power, he accepted the result. And that's the kind of leader that you need. And that's why we're going to miss ECO, because ECO knew exactly what happened with the elections in 2021. We saw videos of Congo being killed. We saw videos of people with marked ballot papers. But he saw to say, if the way the country is right now, Abantu n'abafurwa. There is no way I'm gonna put people at risk so that we can have a bloodbath in our country. So he handed over power peacefully to Hakainde Hichilema. You understand? And look at what Hakainde Hichilema has done. He's gone after every political opponent that it really feels like is a threat to his presidency. And he has jailed people, not because they committed a crime. He's jailed people because he feels they are a stumbling block in his political career. So exactly what is happening, that woman has done in Tanzania, is exactly what HH intends to do in 2026. And how are we, as Zambians, going to stop this from happening? Mamonaka? Because we have a situation whereby HH feels threatened because it comes from the minority. And the minority want to cement power because they are saying it is our time. But if we are going to run with that trajectory, then we are burning this country to the ground. And the fool is going to rule over the ashes. And is that the Zambia that you want for your people? Is that the Zambia that you want for your children? These are the questions that need to be asked. And these are the questions that need to be answered with sincerity. And these are the questions that we need to face, even though it's hard to face them. Because even if you say, okay, that woman has won, honestly speaking, with the current that has happened in Tanzania, she might think she's powerful. There were Adolf Hitler, for example. There were more powerful men in the history. And those men, there came a point where they have to fall down. So for me, what HH has done today, it just gives me an outlook of what he intends to do when it comes to elections. And it gives me chills. I feel sad because we are taking what we have today for granted. We are taking everything that this country has ever worked for granted, all because of one man, all because of one selfish man. HH is a self-centered individual, and I can guarantee you he will go to any lengths to stay in power. What happened today, if you ever doubted what lengths HH intended to do to keep power, today is a very, very good example. And you ought to, if you don't, you ought to be scared. You ought to be scared for your children. You ought to be scared for your country. You ought to be scared for what the future holds for our country. We need to rise up. We need to understand, to say, if we don't hold this government to account, our future and our children's future are at stake. Sadiq says, and I quote, "There's no way, absolutely no way, no excuse to what Sadiq has, to what HH has done. And if you ever doubt, Sadiq says this is a sham of an election. And here you have a president saying, congratulations, this was a very whatever, Tanzania, what. And you tend to question, Usheba HH, Charon Shibekara. Sadiq says, and I quote, media censorship and lack of freedom of expression. Censorship of online platform and restrictions on media freedom were reported. State-owned media overwhelmingly favored the ruling party, while private media self-censored out of fear of losing licenses. Exactly what is happening in Zambia. Low voter turnout and suspicious voting practices. Now, Mao Sampa was in Tanzania, and Mao Sampa actually took a video of abantu n'abasenda ama voters card pamitwe baletwala ku polling station very late. What stops those people from marking those voters cards? That's exhibit number one. Secondly, low voter turnout. Exactly what ECZ is doing in Zambia. With ECZ frustrating the efforts of people going to register as voters, with NRCs being all over the place and all over the confusion, I told you that ECZ is working on voter apathy, where people fail to turn out because it is easier to rig elections with a low voter turnout. This is exactly what HH is using in Zambia. So Sadiq has told us what is happening in Zambia. Low voter turnout is because, one, either people were scared to go out there to go and vote. Secondly, people were protesting. And to hear that woman say those people didn't come from Tanzania is really, really sad. Because numbers of people were on the streets, so they couldn't turn out to vote. So even if you look at the number of voters that have been casted, just for that political party and our supporters, the majority of Tanzanians did not show up to vote because they were in the streets protesting. So low voter turnout is another way of stopping anyone to have a democratic process of elections. And that's what ECZ is working on. Sadiq says, and I quote, low voter turnout and suspicious voting practices. The mission recorded very low turnout across polling stations. Some ballot boxes showed multiple stacked ballots, suggesting possible ballot stuffing. Gender and youth marginalization. Only 3 out of 17 presidential candidates were women. Women and youth faced cultural, finance, and institutional barriers to meaningful participation. Exclusion of civil society and voter education groups. Some established NGOs were denied accreditation for voter education. Funding reductions and late accreditation. Announcement hurt civic education quality. We have been talking of the lack of sensitization on voter registration in Zambia. And ECZ is doing that deliberately. This is the first time that we have seen in our country that there's not been any voter sensitization. And let's talk about these celebrities that you have. These celebrities have specifically been told not to talk about voters sensitization. Because you see, in 2021, 2020, prior to the 2021 general election, these celebrities you call, whatever you call them, they were there on their platform preaching about voter sensitization, voters, go registered voters. This time around, there's been little to no celebrity talking about voter registration because that is what the UPND have worked on. They have called these celebrities, taught them not to actually sensitize people to go and vote. Because when they do that, they're actually enabling citizens to go out there with the need to say, you need a voter's card to change the regime. So to stop that from happening, these celebrities have been taught specifically not to talk about voter sensitization or not to even actually talk about voter registration. And this is happening in Zambia specifically because in a minute, I'll be done in the next 10 minutes. Can you close that door, please? And this has been done deliberately so that we have voter apathy, voter apathy and low turnout of voters. And this Sadiq is basically giving us a snapshot of what is happening in our country. And we have seen the leakage of what's happening in Tanzania. How do we stop this from happening? It's from us rising and calling ECZ to account and ensuring that ECZ extends this to at least another month or even 2 months, because a large number of people with NRSs are appearing to have, a duplicate of NRSs. And this is a system that needs to be sorted, not within a month, not within a week, but at least 3 months, so that people can go out there and exercise their right to vote. So if we don't speak with one voice and ensure that we sensitize the people, we call ECZ to account so that they can extend the voter registration period, then I don't know what's going to happen in 2026. Then the Sadiq are saying security overreach. Heavy police presence, particularly in Dar es Salaam, sometimes outnumbered the voters. And exactly what HH has done. The swearing in of these Tuma police officers. Look at what happened, for example, during when ACL was going to court. You deployed over 1,000 police officers for what? He was testing the waters to see, will Zambia call me out on this? You cannot just have Chair calling HH out. You Zambians have to call HH out. At HH, always test the waters. And if you don't react, if he doesn't receive any backlash, if you don't push him back, he will now take it up a notch. And that's how HH operates. So, you know, people might say, if you comment the opposition mule chula. It is your country. Now we know kachula. Whether you say opposition or this and the we karam Zambia iwe. I'm telling you, no Shadi Mwakamu. Who knew that Garin Kombo would be fired and Garin Kombo go and report for somebody endorsing him? You are dealing with somebody. When you are dealing with a dictator, trust me, nobody's safe. Not even you. We come the same village together. He will finish other people from other village. He will come for you. The moment you challenge him, he will come for you. That's how dictators operate. Tafikuta. And this is the truth. So, akula ndeni, oh, shana opposition, oh, shana mwenewa UPND, ni nkupirwa kumu. Whether you dance for him, whether you do what, I used to tell the opposition, protect ECL, this LGBT, today we are seeing Socialist Party being attacked by the very government because you what? You enabled HH. When that eligibility was going on, if we as Zambians, if you as opposition stood up and said, hang on a minute, you cannot abuse the court processes, the court ruled over this matter, we are happy having Edgar Chagwa Lungu on the ballot, HH would have gone back into his kubwendo and said he cannot do this. But because you saw Edgar Chagwa Lungu as a stumbling block and not a person that wanted to bring democracy and uphold democracy in our country, you were celebrating for when that eligibility ruling, even though you knew, you were lawyers, you knew to say the court cannot rule against its own decision. That was enshrined because that became law. What the court ruled was law. But you let that happen because you thought, oh, I'm safe. Kaida, I'm not Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Kaidi, I want to be president. So this eligibility. Once Edgar Chagwa Lungu is out, I'll be safe. Who knew that the same exact thing that happened to PF could happen to Socialist Party? These are the things that I used to talk about. These are the things that I used to tell the opposition. And today it's happening. I told you this eligibility case is not about Edgar Chagwa Lungu. It is bigger than Edgar Chagwa Lungu. It is about our constitution. And if we don't stop it now, if we don't stand up as one, we are going to destroy our country because this guy, after he's done with this, is going to go after the constitution. And this is what is happening. He's gone after the constitution. Even with the constitutional court ruling, he has overruled the constitution using Nelly Muti, the Speaker of the National Assembly. They don't respect the constitution. So they've ruled, the constitution has ruled, but they've gone against the constitution court. Because you know what? They believe they can override the constitutional court because they actually did it once. They did it when it was eligibility of Edgar Chagwa Lungu. When I went out there and I want to see if I need to drink some water. Because he knew he got away with what he did with Edgar Chagwa Lungu's eligibility case. He knew to say the constitutional court, ruled against its own decision. That's what gives HH the right to even, go against the constitutional court ruling. Because at that particular time, HH was the judge. HH was the ruler, and HH said, no, Edgar Chagwa Lungu is not eligible. And all the opposition were the Go and get the one in my bedroom. Yeah. And here we are today. Socialist Party is suffering the same fate. They are about to remove Fred Membe from the Registrar of Society. And it's people like Tayari are taught. Is clapping for these people. Because for him, it is about India something. And those idiots, those are the kind of idiots but won't about UPND. It will move from Socialist Party. You will say because I was not socialist. It moved from PF because you said because I'm not PF. It has come to Socialist Party. You are there. You will say because I'm not Socialist Party, because so I can't talk about it. It will move from Socialist Party. It will go to another. From the time it's done with the political party, it will come to you, the Zambians. Then it will say, no, it is happening to the Bembas. Like the way the Bembas have been jailed. I cannot talk about it because it's the Bembas. Because I'm not affected. I'm safe because I'm this tribe. I'm safe because I'm this tribe. It will finish with the Bembas. It will come for you. because tachikuta. So you can keep on clapping today to say, oh, by opposition. I'm not an opposition. I'm just actually a Zambian. I don't intend to run for president, neither do I intend to run for any position. But I'm telling you out of patriotism to say, these things you are enabling. There are so many things I've said that have happened. Today, socialist is crying. Today, socialist has been infiltrated. It will finish with the opposition. It will come for you, the citizens. That's what has happened in Tanzania. It started because I'm not a politician or because I don't own a political party. And it came for the citizens. And the number of citizens have died in Tanzania. If only Tanzania saw it early. And here you have a chance. You're privileged enough to listen to my voice. And I'm talking. And you just want to wind wait. These tumamanes you are getting, it won't last you. Yes. Once you give Hakainde Hichilema another 5 years, trust me, mukachula, mkambokwenda nevigamba. Only once is another thing. If Hakainde Hichilema can be a dictator in his first term, can prove how wicked he is in the first term, what do you expect is going to happen in his second term? Look at how he has just dismantled the opposition, arrested people. He's even there on the podium because you're supposed to be impeaching that president. There's no way a president can be a judge. A president can be a prosecutor. A president can be SCC. A president is there, that I called somebody to tell me I want that, I want that. That in itself is infiltration of the judicial system. I laugh when people say, hey, Makebi has not won a case. Oh, Makebi has made people to go to prison. Are you seriously blind? Are you seriously okay? You have an exhibit where the constitutional court, the same constitutional court that ruled in favor of Hakainde Hichilema during the eligibility, now rules in favor of the Zambian people and say, this constitutional amendment is unconstitutional. And HH and Nelly Muti defy that ruling. And you tell me anyone can win in those courts. Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you actually believe there's justice? Somebody kills someone. Nabalukana mukuri. Mukoti ne toroshi. Aingira. Anenona menshi. Maleseka. Only to be given bail at manslaughter. Utukane ensele takwaba bail. Nakachinda has been jailed on a law that has been repealed by Hakainde Hichilema himself. How do you convict someone on a repealed law? So, umuntu bale mieba mulelo lesha muletota, you are enabling that person. Everything that has happened in Tanzania, if Tanzania stopped and said, you can't do this, you can't do this, this woman could not have killed those people that she's killed. So you think you are safe. Somebody says, we have to go in Mufumbwe to kill people. You still, there and then, somebody would say, this man is not fit to be president. But because you want to eat. If this is the kind of people we had during independence, I'm telling you, Zambia would have not gotten independence. It's so sad, you know. So, when you talk of the current happenings in Zambia, it's not coincidence. It is a calculated move. It started way back in 2022. When he knew to say, I can actually defy the court. The court rules to say, Bowman is eligible, Malanje is eligible. You go and hold an election. You create voter apathy. And you put people in parliament getting money. And you sit there as a country. All because of what? HH has infiltrated your mind to hate Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Why? So Sadiq says, an accord. Security overreach. Heavy police presence, particularly in Dar es Salaam, sometimes outnumbered the voters. Reports of police firing guns in several regions, particularly in Mbeya, Dodoma, Arusha, and Dar es Salaam. So there were live bullets. Police were firing live bullets at civilians. And a church goes there and claims this is a very good victory. Constitutional limitation on independent candidates. Remember, there was a situation when Hamasaka, who happens to be presidential communication specialist Yoba Pang, defied the constitution and said the constitution does not allow people to stand as presidential candidates. They wanted to do a mingalato on that regard. We had Bamayo, what's her name? Given Katuta, coming out and declare her intention of standing as independent candidate. Not because maybe she will stand, but because she was trying to protect the constitution. Because maybe probably she heard somewhere what they were trying to do. And they exposed themselves. They started talking down on her to say the constitution does not allow somebody to stand as an independent presidential candidate. It is exactly what Sadiq is reporting here. Chief man of Tanzania. That's why he had to go there to say, that's why you see supporters are saying, let's go the Tanzanian way. They don't care how many people are going to die. For them, it's about ensuring they retain into power. And that's what has scared me a lot, because for the past 5 years, for the past 4 years and some months, I've been talking about these issues. And I can see them. I can see what is coming if we don't change the course of action. And I'm warning you, I can see exactly where Zambia is headed, because it's something that I talked about. And to see it's happened in Tanzania, and Heche goes and embraces what has happened in Tanzania, it scares the hell out of me. I'm not a person that easily gets scared, but I can tell you, I can see exactly what's happening and what will be made of Zambia if we don't change the course of action. This is nothing to do with PF. It has nothing to do with Socialist Party. It has everything to do with our country called Zambia. So the Sadiq are saying, constitutional limitations on independent candidates. Laws prevent citizens who are not affiliated to political parties from running for office, restricting political choice and freedom of association. And that's exactly what they wanted to do when Hamasaka wanted to manipulate our constitution, because our constitution allows for anybody to stand as an independent presidential candidate. And this is why they're so eager with this Bill 7. They're so eager because they know if they can manipulate the constitution, they're home and dry. And this is the reason why you Zambians have to resist this constitutional amendment. You have to resist it with everything in your beings. Because if you don't, what is coming? Fikeshira bonds. Domestic observers largely absent. SEOM noted the lack of local election observers in most polling stations. You see how they've been handling the UPND, how they've been handling the by-elections, where they chase people and only them and ZNBC appear as witnesses. They've been testing the waters. They say, oh, ECS can actually announce these elections without anybody signing to say, I have actually observed these were free and fair elections. These numbers are the actual numbers. We have situations where ECZ is not even, ECZ, maybe some of the ECZ are the ones appearing as, election observers. If not, we have UPNG cadres appearing as election observers. Or UPND cadres being returning officers. This has been happening in all the by-elections that we've been having. And they've been testing the waters. We can put our own cadres as presiding officers without nobody questioning that. We can actually sign on these ECZ as witnesses. We can put our cadres as UPND, sign there in election, and we call it an election. And this is a very dangerous path that UPND have created. And they're testing the waters to see if they can use this in 2026. And it's there. SADC is telling you exactly what is going to happen in Zambia if we don't change the course of action. SADC says, delayed report publication. The SELM could not issue its SELM is SADC election observer mission, could not issue its statement within the usual 2 days due to security communication challenges, underscoring the tense and repressive environment. In conclusion, the SELM determined that voters could not freely express their democratic will and that the 2025 Tanzanian election fell short of SADC's principles and guidelines governing democratic elections. The observation team was led by Right Honorable Richard Musowa, former Speaker of Parliament of Republic of Malawi. So SADC's statement is that this was a sham of an election. And here you have your president goes there and issued this. It is so sad. And today is just like, for me, everything that I feared, I saw it today. I saw it. HH is not a person that can listen to anybody. It's about HH and HH, and that's it. Listen to his statement. Everything that I've said, listen to his statement.
To celebrate our sisters' ascension once again to the presidents of the United Republic of Tanzania. Congratulations to you, Madam President. Congratulations to your team members, Vice President, who's been sworn in together with you today. But we also we want to indicate that we celebrate with you. So we congratulate you, we celebrate with you the importance of the United Republic of Tanzania moving as one country. This is very important. Peace, security.
Where is peace?
Stability.
Where is peace? Where is security?
Tanzania,
where is stability with whatever has happened in Tanzania?
Security, stability of.
You know, watching Aka in the HM just pisses the hell out of me. I can't even finish watching that. But that's what he was saying. More than 1,000 people have reported dead. You've seen the numbers. And you have a president saying that. If you want to finish that, it's on the page. You can go and watch it. I can't even bring myself to watch this man. Because how evil can one be? How evil can one be? And it's so sad that, you know, you don't see it. They don't see it. They would rather come here, insult, and you don't see it. You don't see where Zambia is headed. But I see it. And it scared the shit out of me. Excuse my French. I see it. And when I see it, and I see it very clear. And it's sad. Because trust me, our future does not look good. Does not look good. Until we change the course of action. And for me, you ask me, Chair, what is the solution? Should we give up? Should we let this man? Giving up is not an option. We have to speak with a united voice. And we have to ensure that we go out there and get those registered. You know, the more we go out there, is the more we're going to raise the awareness of the discrepancies that is happening with voter registration. Okay? If you don't go out there, we're not going to raise this awareness. And we have to challenge ECZ to extend the voting period, the registration period. Because they're saying it's coming to an end on the 11th of November. Look at the number of voters they've actually registered. A lot of people, first they stopped the NRC because they saw a lot of people in the opposition strongholds coming out to get their NRCs. They stopped that deliberately because they knew if they record the number of NRC registration, they know to say there will be a lot of voters. They're working on voter apathy with a low voter turnout. It's just, you never see me like this, but I'm telling you, I saw it today and it was so clear of where we're headed. So usually I'm insulted, I'm called all sorts of names. I don't mind until something happens and say, Chair, you said something like this. And I'm telling you, where Zambia is headed is not nice at all. It's not nice at all. We need to change the course of action. And the unfortunate part is that, with Makebi Zulu as my preferred choice of candidate, it's a situation whereby we have to fight both the UPND and some of the patriotic members, the Patriotic Front members that want to be presidents. And that's where I am, to be honest with you, because now I have to respond. There's some sort of propaganda now that's going to be thrown at Makebi and so on. We are ready for that propaganda. It's fine. There's a situation now whereby even some of the supporters of the people in the PF are creating now log Facebook pages to go and comment on the page of Makebi. Then they screenshot that, take it in their WhatsApp logs and say, oh, look at the comments, they're all negative, You understand? They're playing the same games with UPND. And we're a situation whereby the same situation I was in, actually, to be honest with you, where I had to fight the UPND and fight some of the PF because I was singing a Lebwe Lapo song of Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And it's quite frustrating, to be honest, because I've been here before. You understand? I've been here before, and when I was with Lebwe Lapo and Edgar Chagwa Lungu, it was quite an intense thing to do, because I was there alone and I was trying to tell you Zambian people to say, Mwana and Mama Zambians, do not lose hope, I'm here, things and like that. And to see myself back to the same situation I was when I was saying of Alewe in regard with Makebi Zulu, it's quite frustrating and it's quite annoying and upsetting, because you see, if we had a situation whereby, the first time when I came out and put out Makebi Zulu's name out there, I said, do not fight my choice of candidate. And when people started fighting him, even now, and I retaliated and I didn't actually fight. I was pointing out to the Zambian people to say, this candidate, nif. This candidate, nif. Not because I want to fight that guy, because that's the truth that you guys deserve to listen. And I was giving you to say, it's a reason I'm going for this kind of candidate, because so far, this is a person I've seen to say, this person is actually the right person to go for this job. Mama. And I've met resistance not only from the UPND, but also from the people in the Patriotic Front. You understand? So because it's the same situation I find myself in when I was doing the ECA or Alewe Lapo, and I find it so frustrating. And sometimes it's really upsetting, and things like that, because a human being can only take in so much. So I am in a situation whereby, by UPND Valendwa, by PF now Valendwa, and I'm here. And I'm standing here because I want the Zambians to make a decision that is concrete, a decision that is informed. Mamona. In 2021, we made a decision based on rhetoric, based on propaganda, and for me it is the more reason I started doing political analysis and things like that, because I feel like you Zambians deserve to know the absolute truth. And even if you know that truth and you decide otherwise, at least you know the truth. Moya Monaka, you made that decision. I'm not forcing anyone to go for Makebi. That's far from it. I wouldn't do that, but I'm giving you what is there on the table, and I'm laying the cards on the table for you Zambians to decide. But what I will not accept as well is a situation whereby you start attacking my candidate and you expect me to fold my arms. That's not going to happen, Mamon. And Zambians will know the truth. Any information that I have, I will bring out here, and I'll say as it is. And if that comes out as, what's the matter? They start attack your candidate and things like that. It's because maybe that candidate has got something that candidate is hiding. Like, for example, there's a situation, I received information right now where balefwaya ukunyunya convention balefwa pange ukunyunya, you know, until certain candidate comes out victorious. But if we are doing that in opposition, what makes you believe that the constitution of Zambia will be protected? And that's what I'm looking at. So I find myself in a very frustrating situation where I want the Zambians to know the truth, to tell you the truth, so you make an informed decision. There's nothing that I'm gaining out of this. Honestly speaking, there's nothing that I've gained out of this. You know, I sacrifice my time and sacrifice the little time that I have, and I come here and I speak because I just feel this is my duty to my country. I want my country to do these things that I'm doing. And then you find people, oh, but they start talking and things like that, and you feel like you're telling the Zambians it's like they're not listening, and just really, really frustrating. And shakosa, I'm telling you, ngakale tuareka. So that's the situation I found myself in. Again, back to square one, whereby by UPND, there's so much propaganda now is being surrounded. If you look at most of the platforms, how Makebi is being attacked, how they're coming up with information, it is all UPND and some of the PF, not all of them, some of the PF, and they would feel nice when UPND attacked. The same way that ECL, it's like back to square one. And you know, what's so frustrating is that I'm reliving the very exact thing that I lived, because for me, I lived it. You know, where I had to come and clean ECL all the time. I have to, you know, do away with the propaganda and things like that. And to find that it's the exact thing that Makebi Zulu find himself in is quite really sad and frustrating. But we're equal to the task. But that's what I wanted to say. So you have to walk with me here, guys. That's all I'm asking you, Zambians. You really have to walk with me here, because if you don't, what am I doing? Mama, if you don't, then what's the point? You know, I'm not doing this because I've been paid like Benatayat. I've been sendako something go and speak. No. That's why you don't find me jittery. That's why on this platform, you've not seen me endorse 10 presidential candidates. Mama. Because that's not the case. I'll be lying to you, Zambians. They don't poster you. They might not poster you. I'm confusing you. Like, well, okay, I'm give us a direction. And I tell you, this is the direction I wish us to go. And it's either you take it or you leave it. I've not posted other presidential candidates on this platform because I don't want to confuse you. I want you to understand exactly where I stand. Mama, you've not seen me post 10 different presidential candidates on my platform. Oh, wakureka uyutabesha, uyushan. And you ask yourself, are they paying this person to post all these candidates for advertisement? You ask yourself. Because imagine chair comes today na poster Makebi, Myron Apostle, you'll be like, chair naimo, yeah, Shani. Mama, that's why I waited. I waited for the right time for me to bring out a candidate of my choice. And I've stuck with that because that's who I am. Mama, I'm not going to be, they don't apostle. Uita Besha. Uita. No. It's not going to happen. Mama, because I'll be confusing you. But when I want your platform, they don't apostle you. My don't apostle you. When you advertisement, Uita Besha. Uyushani. Girl, where do you stand? Mama. So, for me, I'm doing this out of patriotism. If you think like, she's doing it, then, mama, but I can guarantee you, Tuabika Monalesa, let me tell you something. This fight is a very, very big spiritual fight. And we cannot fight it without God. We need God to be at the center of this fight. For this country to be liberated, we need God. Other than that, we are done. Because the darkness that has hovered our country, such that we have even lost our humanity, the decency in us, our moral compass, we've lost it. It's the main reason why we have to call on God on this. This one, we need God at the center. Again, in there, I don't to confess. So, have a good night and God bless you. And take care. Bye-bye. Shile isu lama phone calls. So God bless you, God bless Zambia. Inena randa kwene pompere ne waka karuba. Muikala omtende, muilala walk paper. And if you have time tomorrow, go and register to vote. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.